Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealth Up. Let's dive into our August budget review and see how my financial journey is progressing. I'm still navigating the aftermath of the hurricane and making progress with insurance claims. I've received some reimbursement for repairs, which has helped alleviate some of the financial burden. However, the process is ongoing, so there are still some unknowns. Despite the hurricane expenses, I managed to enjoy some personal moments this month. I did some shopping, hosted family, splurged on concert tickets, and made a last minute call to book a trip. It's important to maintain a balance between saving and enjoying life. Let's take a look at my net worth and see how it's been impacted by the hurricane expenses and my spending habits. I'm curious to see if I've been able to make any progress despite the challenges. Let's jump into the spreadsheet now. This is a summary of my expenses for the month of August. We'll start off with the income section. This month I received two paychecks of $2,513.99. I also had $3,981 that rolled over from last month. Adding up all of these brings the total income for the month of August to $9,009. Next, let's look at my investments and savings. My automated investments remain paused. I added $2,000 to my emergency fund and set aside $500 for tax and insurance. In the fixed payment section, I paid $1,100 for my mortgage, $115 on electricity, $30 for gas, $60 for water, $47 for internet, and $200 on my student loans. Let's take a closer look to the varying categories. We'll start off in the fun money section. Here I spent $345 on dinners and hanging out with friends, $450 on subscriptions, $330 on shopping, $340 on concerts. This included tickets, parking, and some souvenirs, and $50 on gifts. This brings the total spend in the fun money category to $1,019. This is substantially higher than what I had planned, in part due to the shopping and concert expenses. Tickets these days are much higher than they'd been previously. I might need to revisit my spending plan and adjust here. In the home expenses categories, on groceries, I spent $139 at Aldi and $225 at H-E-B. I also spent $260 at Lowe's on things for around the house. I spent $101 on gas and $73 on the car registration. This brings the total for home expenses to nearly $800. Next, let's look at self-care. This month, I spent $115 on massages, $80 on skincare, $22 on a haircut, and $245 at the dentist, bringing the total expense for self-care to $462.40. In the travel category, I hosted family for dinner and spent $113.64, and I also booked a flight to visit family. And I did not spend any money here. I've been strategic with my credit cards and had enough miles to book this without additional costs for me. This brings the total spent on travel to $113.64. In the hurricane section, I did receive $2,750 in refunds this month to cover the expenses that I've had. And I had an additional $223.45 in repairs this month. This brings the total expense for the hurricane to negative $2,526.55, meaning that I had more money coming in than I spent. Taking all of these expenses into account leaves me with a total of over $5,000 left to spend this month. Now, let's update the spending plan for the month of August. Give me a moment to update this tab. Okay, now that this tab has been updated, everything is going according to plan, with the exception of my spending in the variable expenses categories. My spending has been higher not only for the month of August, but also for some of the previous months. Some of this is due to expenses from the hurricane, some from the dentist, and some from inflation. The fact that everything is more expensive these days. I'll spend some time this month reassessing what my target spend here should be. But now let's jump into my net worth. Let's see how I did for the month of August. For those unfamiliar with net worth, it is the difference between your liabilities, which are any debts you have, and your assets, which are anything you have of value. For me, my liabilities are mortgages for my primary residence and a rental property and student loans. And my assets are the 2 houses, my car, investments, and cash. My mortgage total is $311,575. And my student loan balance is $10,119. This brings my total liabilities for the month of August to $321,694. Now jumping into my assets. The value of both properties is $489,900. My car's value remains $11,800. My investments total $554,900. My cash is $22,500. This brings the total value of my assets to $1,079,100. You can see the continued increase over time, which is in part from the increasing value of my properties, although over the last few months has been fairly steady. The increase in my investments has been substantial. Even though we did have a slowdown in the market this month, the total value did increase compared to July of 2024. Now subtracting the value of my liabilities from my assets brings my net worth for the month of August 2024 to $757,496. This is now slightly more than $100,000 increase compared to the beginning of the year. Overall, great progress and confirmation that the small steps early in the process are paying off. And there really is a snowball effect where you start to see substantial gains once you have more money invested in the market. Moving forward, I'll continue to monitor my spending closely and prioritize savings for future financial goals. The hurricane has certainly been a setback, but it's important to remain resilient and focus on the positive. How are you navigating your financial journey? Share your experiences and tips in the comments below. Let's build a supportive financial community together. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more personal finance content. Thanks for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.